Hey guys, welcome back to another slightly rednecked video. Again, my name's Chris, and today we're going to be cooking. I haven't done a cooking video in a while, and I thought it was time to share a good recipe with you guys. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be using quail. I've actually used this recipe for rabbit before. Rabbit works great in this recipe. I've never made it with quail, but if I'm posting this video, that means it turned out okay. So we're going to make it with quail today. This is going to be quail Cajun quail pasta. There we go. I think that's the way we'll say it. So what I've got here is pretty simple ingredients, and I'll leave down in the description box below kind of a rough idea. Well, I'll just give you a recipe down below, but you can alter it a little bit if you want to. I've got some basil, dried basil, about I don't know, what's that, an eighth of a teaspoon probably. Eighth of a teaspoon of both onion powder and garlic powder in this bowl here. Some diced up sun-dried tomatoes, probably a couple of tablespoons full, and some Cajun seasoning. Well, this stuff's pretty spicy, so increase that if you like it spicy, or decrease it if you don't like it nearly as spicy. I like it spicy. My family doesn't like it as spicy as I do, so I'm going to be kind of going a little bit on the conservative side, hopefully. Last time I made this, it was a little too spicy. So what I've done is I've cut the quail breast off the bone here, so I've got 8 quail total, 16 breast halves, and I'm going to go ahead and cut them in half again so they're just a little bit more bite size, and then I'm going to drop them in this bowl. This is a way bigger bowl than what I need, but better to work with a bigger bowl than too small of a bowl. Oh, I should mention, while I'm doing this, I've got a pot of water back here that I'm bringing to a boil to boil some pasta in, because this isn't going to take that long to cook, so I want to start the pasta about the same time I get this stuff ready to go. So, oops, I missed a feather on there. I can't get it off. There we go. Got it. There we go. So this is, like I said, pretty simple. I'm just cutting these in half, tossing them in this bowl. I don't guess you need to watch me do all that. Let me get them all cut up, toss in that bowl, and then we'll come right back. We'll show you what the next step is, and we'll go from there. All right, so I've got my quail all in the bowl here, so now I'm going to take my Cajun seasoning and just sprinkle it over the top of this quail a little bit. Hopefully I'm not blocking the camera too much, but I bet I am. Just sprinkle it over that. Give this stuff a good stir so I can get it all coated. And that looks pretty good. It's all pretty well coated. So, all right, that looks pretty good. It's all got some good Cajun seasoning on it. Like I said, if you like it spicier, add a little bit more Cajun seasoning. If you like it less spicy, add a little bit less. Let me get my hands washed, and I'll be right back with you, and we'll go over what we're going to do next. Okay, so I'm waiting on my pot of water here to start boiling. I'm going to add a little bit of oil to that water so my pasta doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. It does have a tendency to do that, and that will help a little bit with that. So while I'm waiting on that to come to a boil, it looks like it's getting pretty close. I can go ahead and get my pan over here ready. So I'm going to turn this up to, I don't know, medium heat probably. Somewhere right around in there should be good. Let that warm up. I got a couple of tablespoons of butter right here. That's probably more than I need, so I'll start off a little bit lower than that. And we're going to get that butter in this pan. And let that get up to heat. Alright, so I think my pan is about up to heat here, and we got the water boiling. So I'm going to be cooking this with linguini noodles. So that's about, I don't know, 5 ounces or so of linguini noodles, something like that. Let me set the timer here so we can get that going. And while the noodles are cooking, I'm going to go ahead and cook this quail here. So what I want to do is just add it to the pan. I want to separate it out, add it in small pieces, and I'm going to be cooking it in this butter until it's pretty much done. I don't know, 5 minutes or so, something like that. Okay, so now move on to the next step here. So now we're gonna add all our other ingredients. We've got our basil going in. Again, that's about an 1/8 teaspoon of basil. Our garlic powder and our onion powder, about an 1/8 teaspoon of each. A couple tablespoons of diced up sun-dried tomato. And this is our secret weapon here. 3/4 of a cup of heavy cream. When you're adding liquid to a hot cast iron pan, you always want to go really, really slow to start with. So I'm going to turn this heat down just a little bit so we don't scald that cream. And I'm just going to stir all this together. And let that cook down just a little bit. Let that reduce a little bit. Oh, one thing I almost forgot here. We need a little bit of salt. I don't know, 1/8 teaspoon or so of salt. And just stir all that around real good. Get that all coated up with that cream and all those herbs and all that stuff going in there. The diced up sun-dried tomatoes. Makes a really pretty sauce here. We got 3 or 4 minutes here until our pasta's done. So I'll just let that sit there and simmer a little bit. Turn the heat way down. Let it just stay warm. Okay, so the pasta's done. So it's going to go right from the pasta water right into our skillet. Probably could have done just a little more pasta, but oh well, it'll work just fine. I always have a hard time judging how much pasta I need. I always get either way too much or way too little. Looks like I got just a little too little this time. Better than I normally do. All right, so and we're just going to stir that in, toss that in with all the sauce and the quail. Almost said rabbit because the last time I made this I made it with rabbit, and just stir it up real good. Get it all coated with that sauce. Well, that's looking pretty good. Top it off with a little Parmesan cheese. And we'll give it a try here just to make sure it's good. It sure smells good. Looks fantastic. It was a little bit bigger than a bite-sized piece there. Let's get that down to a little manageable size. Well, darn it. Hang on, there we go. Yeah, that's a winner. Oh, excuse me. Clear my mouth out here so I'm not talking with my mouth full. Very, very good. Like I said, I've used this recipe with rabbit before. It works very, very well with rabbit. You can increase any of these spices you like. You can decrease any of them. I think that if I was going to do anything different with this one, I might add a little bit more of that sun-dried tomato. I would like a little bit more Cajun spice in it, but I think my family's going to like it the way it is. It's not too overly spicy. Overall, it's just fantastic. That heavy cream, that all those herbs, you know, the basil and all that coming together with those sun-dried tomatoes, just really, really good. A little bit of tartness, a little bit of spice, and a nice creaminess of that heavy cream. I highly suggest you give this one a try. Let me know if you do down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, God bless.